Hello. We are after a two-episode stint before. We are back to our regular our routine of uh, having uh, watching the newest episode every Thursday, and then wait a week later till we offer our reviews. And episode 3 was a doozy because not only did we get more of the extended cameo, as Jen noted in the beginning of the episode with Emil Blonsky, but we did get another surprise cameo in the series also. Find out who it is, and then we'll talk about um, where episode 4 can go from here. Now that the Asgardians have been introduced into the mainframe. So hear ye, hear ye, the people versus Emil Blonsky will be timely reviewed. So sit back and enjoy.
Hello.
You're very early. Yeah, I did. I I I wanted to start watching uh watch the episode last week and reviewing it today, but that got a little sidetracked because of homework. But yeah, and the dog thing. But I got it today, and so
Ah,
yeah. It was well done. That was well funny in parts. Um,
yeah, this was more enjoyable. There was a lot of comic relief and great moments in this episode. Episode 3 was the most fun. There was a lot of comedic moments throughout the thing, but like I can rant on when you like start off though.
yeah, and yeah, the one thing I noticed off the bat is when she's delivering the fourth wall in the beginning, she's not driving the car. So you expect like an accident sooner or later.
Yeah,
Then,
when she was driving.
yeah, bam, she's dead. Show's over. All right, let's go to the Halloween episode.
I would not be surprised there would be a Halloween episode in the series. It'd be kind of cool though. What
Yeah,
does the Avengers do, or She-Hulk, or Wong? What do they do for during Halloween time? Or you remotely, not just Halloween. Why not a Thanksgiving episode or a holiday episode?
yeah. So, yeah, I got the yeah, and it was also a great line in the movie to start with before the actual title appears on screen. Like, it's not about them, they are cameos. You know who the later star of the show is.
You're gonna expect cameos, but like, just remember whose like narrative story this is. Little nod, little reference.
Yeah, we're not talking about one, we're not talking about Emil Blonsky, we're not talking about Bruce. Okay, maybe a little about Bruce.
Maybe a smidge about Bruce.
Yeah,
We'll leave it a little shy of like 10% there.
yeah, so
I'm like 98% of or Jennifer. Or Jen, I should say.
yeah, so yeah, I liked it. because like I said, the beginning episode just picks up real like episode 2 left off after she's watched the uh watched the underground prison fight club thing on TV.
Yeah, it did like a 3 month like later text or like 2 days later or whatever text. But we really see the timeline. They really jump into it quick.
Yeah, and and also I liked it when they did the editing of them talking about She-Hulk, and I'm glad they brought like the whole like Me Too movement phenomenon and talking about do we need like a female superhero because there's been a lot of uh, debate over the years about Marvel being diverse with Black Widow and or Black Panther, sorry, and Captain Marvel being a woman. Newsflash: She-Hulk was created in 1980, way before everything of this caliber happened.
Yeah, I find that interesting though. Even hearing that, it's like I've heard about that too. That She-Hulk was more like a 1980s comic issue, and like they really like span it away where they made it more modern today and contemporary as far or as the timeline goes.
Yeah, because I think I read they wanted like a superhero marketed for like females just to kind of branch out from the male Avengers, Hulk, Thor, Spider-Man personality. So that was really good for them to tie it all in.
Yeah, like where do we place Jen Walters' narrative story into the bigger MCU movies, and even within the MCU TV shows? Like, where do we place this? Okay, why don't we do this? We put Jen Walters' story in a narrative setting and today's society and the culture and everything that's happening, and when we like put her as a lawyer, when we like add like certain elements and took little liberties in this story. I feel like they took a little bit of liberties in this, but like they really like brought it into a mainstream MCU for today.
Yeah, because in the when she was being asked a lot of haunted by the press, one of them asks she's confronted with the rumor that her powers she got powers from a murder attempt on her. And in the original comic book series, this was indirectly how uh, Jennifer got her Hulk condition. Um, yeah,
Mm,
Hickman wounded her in an attack, and then Bruce Banner was enforced to give her a transfusion in order to save her life.
yeah, I was kind of curious too one day, and like I looked it up and hearing this, like, oh wow, this is like really interesting reading it and at the same time hearing about it. Like they didn't like put like a reference about that. They did a little bit, but not like a bigger reference, you know?
Yeah, 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 sort of ties back into the Me Too movement. Um, we get introduced a few more characters in the series, but we did get a, a lot mention of Asgardians in the series. Asgardians and Working Clue. Well, yeah, first, let's start off with the shapeshifter, because I mean, we had Loki before in the MCU, but Luna, if I'm saying her name right, is a totally different kind of like shapeshifter, trickster, um, that I think is in this could be in this episode, but yeah, Asgard is hopefully going to play a lot in the series going forward.
Yeah, I feel the same way. They really made Runa, if I'm saying her name right, the shapeshifter. They really made her character and where she placed in this episode made her kind of goofy. And like when I seen by Goofy, like she impersonates a judge and gets up there and being like all goofy and everything. Then later on, we see Runa again with the other lawyer in the at back in the other law firm where they're prosecuting her, a different lawyer, and she's impersonating a lawyer. So that's like saying two different moments in the episode where they kind of like made this character kind of like slightly goofy.
Yeah, and I like
I
the
like that they made a lot of cool comedic moments in this episode.
yeah the I like the editing of the like the two trailers back forth from the parole board exchange to the uh to the Megan Thee Stallion trailer. Um, yeah, it was very funny. And to have her show up at the end as the little one, very good comedic timing with that.
Very good timing with that.
Yeah,
Like when I like saw that extra credit scene, this is funny episode, and this is a funny scene.
yeah, yeah. So
I didn't know who Megan the Stallion was until a friend of mine shared with me. It was like, oh, she's a rapper. It's like, oh, okay.
yeah, and then we also got the appearance from Juan, who also shows that he's like very comedic. Whereas in Doctor Strange, I thought he was more restrained. This one showed like funnier side of him.
Yeah, different perspective. And like when he was like speaking at Emil's parole board hearing,
Yeah,
and one of the people on the panel was like, "So let me get this straight. You broke out Emil and you convicted a crime.
yeah,
Um, where I have to go now." And he like takes off, opens the portal, and leaves before
yeah,
they even did anything.
yeah, and I like that he mentioned to like Jennifer there's there's not going to be any like memory erasing going on. I'm not going to erase anyone's memory. I'm just here to tell the truth. We'll worry about sorcery later.
I was training to be the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, that. Yeah. So I wrote. Yeah. Jen becomes the defendant, and Mr. Bukowski's case. I really like the fact they brought back Dennis from episode one. Um,
Yeah, and we see like the follow up to that too. It's like what has he been up to lately with his cases or personal life? Obviously, we see that in episode 3. Dating Mega Thee Stallion, if I'm saying her name right.
yeah, yeah, and the funny, yeah, like end credits and the uh, like the artwork where she shows him actually going on a date. Um, and I also like the also the joke with the eight women who are in Emil's uh, parole hearing.
They're my soulmates. I met them through a pen pal program.
Yeah,
They really like covered well with Emil's story. They really like ended a chapter on that. We really see the evolution and the follow up from the Incredible Hulk to tie into the MCU, and we see like whatever happened to Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, and they really like tied that in well with episode 3. It's like they ended a chapter and he has a new chapter to move forward in Emil's life. They
Yeah,
really like tie a bow on it really well.
yeah, me don't know if I can see him and Tim Roth, who's an amazing actor, by the way, did
Yeah,
a great job. Um, we don't know if he's gonna be back in like phase 5 or any of the other phases, like in Avengers, the one of the two Avengers movies down the road, Kane
I think we
Dynasty or
might. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Kane Dynasty or Secret Wars. That's all I was gonna say. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, it's up in the air as about that. Um, but yeah, and I like the little fight with the wrecking crew at the end. Um, we've got the wrecking crew established, and one tries to stop She-Hulk in order to get her blood, but that does not work according to plan.
No, it doesn't work in their favor. And it was kind of funny how Jen's like, "What did you steal from an Asgardian construction worker?" And they're like, "Yeah."
uh, yeah, and one of the quotes I ended up copying was about them. We need to know because they did mention something about the boss isn't going to be happy about this. So that's going to be explored later. Who are they referring to?
Yeah, and who are they working with? Because like I heard that, then they like placed a name too. One marker says, Oscar won't like this. Before that, our boss won't like this. Then like I'm had to like replay that scene again. I think the person said like Oscar won't like this. I'm guessing Oscar is their boss. At the same time, I'm kind of curious, who is Oscar? Obviously, these people are working for someone. Like I'm kind of curious who the big person is.
Yeah,
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
yeah, I did not, yeah, catch that in my first viewing. You probably have seen more than me or caught on to that right away. Um, but yeah,
But they did totally set up like these people are like working for someone and they're like trying to get Jen's blood, and obviously it didn't work out in their favor. At the same time, we see that conversation in the van.
yeah,
I feel like there's going to be more than one setup for this. It could be like two or maybe three, but like that's just a guess though.
yeah. Oh, oh yeah, yeah. I downloaded the quotes, and I can't believe, yeah, the quote I like was on near the very top. I know you can't wait to see Bond. I get it. I want to make sure that you don't think this is one of those cameos every week type of shows. It's not. Well, except Bruce and Blonsky and Bond. Just remember who showed this actually. I, but I cannot get past the fact she talking to the camera and it's one of those self-drive cars, I think, because you never know what hangs on the steering wheel.
That was a great line too. I would not be surprised that they allow the actors and actresses in this series to like bring a little improv, a little ad lib here and there.
Yeah, but which is, I think this could be one of the things that we're gonna hear about on the internet as people review this. Like, oh my god, she doesn't have her hands on the steering wheel. That's good. That's like a revealing mistake right there.
It's not like, oh, I'm texting while I'm driving, but like, oh, I'm just breaking the fourth wall right now. I want to share you a little bit of information.
Yeah, and don't mind me if I'm not driving. It's just the fourth wall breaking.
It's
So
just like a good moment, which switches to a few seconds, then goes back to driving.
yeah, and yeah, that was I think my favorite quote. And then there was a lot of great quotes. And
Oh
then
yeah, there was.
yeah, I like that. I sentence you for 60 days. Oh, but I didn't do anything for impersonating a judge.
I was laughing on that one too. They did
Yeah,
a really good job on the lines for this episode. Very comedic.
yeah,
And like one, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, and I like that. Yeah, and there's only one of us. The one, only one making the stallion. And you're looking at her.
Yeah, I wrote that down in my notes too. I thought that was a great line of her for her to appear in.
So yeah, the fact that they brought her back for that one scene and the end credits, uh, yeah, just shows how she is kind of making fun of herself as well.
Yeah, and she's like not afraid to do that. At the same time, the setups for this episode really paid off well just for that one example. We see Megan the Stallion, like a little joke here. It's like, oh, she impersonated Megan the Stallion. Emmy Award winner, Grammy Award winner. I can't believe I said Emmy. Maybe I got Emmys on the mind. But like Grammy Award winner making the Stallion is like, okay. Then later on, we see the payoff to that. Then we see the setup to that. And plus the post credit scenes. Like they really did really well with the setups and the payoffs.
Yeah, so yeah, this makes like 3 post-credit scenes, and so far that's the most of any Marvel series so far. Um, so yeah,
I
we
would not be so. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got me on a rant.
we had WandaVision. I think we both are. Well, on WandaVision, we got like 2. We had like Hawkeye. We only got that one um, very funny musical sequence um, that still ranks up as the best of all time, in my opinion. Um, yeah, we had uh, Mrs. Marvel. We had, yeah.
Yeah, and we see like more post credit scenes in this episode. I feel like they just laid out the lead work for the first 3 episodes with the post end credit scenes. I feel like through I could be wrong on this, but I feel like we could be seeing post credit scenes throughout the whole series for each little episode.
Yeah, there may be in the finale like a serious one just to set up the next one. Because
Yeah,
this is the last of the like the phase 4 shows. Because next year, with Ant-Man and Secret Invasion, we're into phase 5. And phase 5 is gonna be really quick, like 16 or 17 months between movies and series. So yeah, I'm so excited for Black Panther and then Ant-Man and Wasp.
yeah, I am too for Black Panther for Wakanda Forever and Ant-Man and Quantum and the Wasp. With the next Ant-Man, I heard that like Bill Murray's attached to that. I'm
Yeah,
kind of curious how big or small his character arc will be in the Ant-Man movie.
yep. So, all right, yeah, that's about it for my notes. Wow, I've covered a lot in there, and it's just a 30-minute episode.
Right? These are like really good edits and episodes for the first 3. Oh my god, this is a really good, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Marvel did a really good job with the exposition of the first episode. Second, great episode. This one just like funny on the board, but like they were holding no bars back on the comedic parts in the
yeah,
series so far.
Yeah, this is different from like the comedic tone of WandaVision a little bit with like the TV series inserts.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, so all right, so yeah, I'm gonna end a little early because you got on there a little early. Um, but yeah, um, that was yeah, kind of all. But according for all right, I'll
All
talk
right.
to you next week.
Talk to you next week.
Marvel out.
Marvel out.
Okay, and that was it with Emil Blonsky. So, what's the verdict? Was this the better episode or not? Um, you can either leave me a comment below or uh, do whatever you want. You can comment below. Um, and if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe to my channel. To do that, I might do other stuff that's not Marvel Chats related in the near future. So let's see how that goes. So until next week, this is Chris Wilkerson, Marvel out.